Okay. Developed projects track it listing.
We're going to have to bring that back to you next. I did not get the report from Mr. Merzick, so we'll bring it back to you.
All right. And I just wanted a little, and I'm glad, Nancy, that you're here because you and I emailed back and forth a little bit on this yesterday. All right. Approval of the minutes.
Second.
Okay.
All right. Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye. Opposed?
I have one announcement to make about the minutes from last time. The minutes that were attached last time were the August 20th minutes. Those were approved last time. Okay. On the tape, it said September 17th, but I wanted to make that correction here. Thank you.
Okay. Our reports. Rob Earhart.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the Advisory Board. Rob Earhart, Volusia County Economic Development. Just wanted to start by picking up on one of the items I mentioned last month. The Tri-Regional Business Summit was held at Port Canaveral on September 24th. Bishop Triplett may want to comment on it, but I thought it was a success in that it was well attended. And I think more importantly, it really helped to raise the bar of visibility on the need for working together, not just within a community, but amongst different communities. In this case, CareerSource, Flagler, Volusia, Brevard, and Central Florida. So regionalism was, in my view, a consistent theme throughout all of the discussions that they had relating to workforce and the ability of the East Central Florida area to remain competitive, really on as the global economy continues to unfold.
Rob, in that regard, there was I guess an article this morning, I just scanned it real quick, about a job fair. Was that in Flagler County?
There was a job fair yesterday held here.
It was one here.
It was sponsored by the News Journal at the News Journal Center. And Monster.com, I think, was also 900 or so people, they estimate, were there. As I read the article, not as many participants as compared to the job fair that was sponsored in the spring, but they felt like the quality of the applicants this time was enhanced as compared to the last time. More people that came with
But that had
skilled.
nothing to do with Robbins, Kings area, the workforce. I know it's the wrong word.
Well, I don't think that she was in the lead, but she was certainly quoted in the article that was in yesterday's News Journal in terms of, collaborating and communicating with, workforce is a community-wide issue. So.
Sure. Okay.
Also picking up on a couple of items from last time, the Volusia County Council did approve a service provider agreement with the Small Business Development Center at Daytona State College. That's specific to sponsoring what's called the CEO Exchange. As Phil is familiar, it's a roundtable format for the general managers and CEOs, owners of local businesses, stage 2 businesses. Ned Harper has been facilitating a group for a year. It started with 14. They finished with 13 people. And very significantly, all 13 of them have agreed to continue going forward. So they've established quite a bit of collaboration in that group. And again, I look at this as, excuse me, we spend a lot of time and effort to train workers, entry level and skilled. To me, this is CEO training to make them, better equip them with their decision making to grow their companies more effectively and faster to hire more people. To me, it comes down to that. In addition, Ned has, we work with Small Business Development Center to develop a second group, and both of those groups actually met for the first time in this year last week, last Tuesday and Thursday. So that's well underway. The County Council also approved 3 years of funding for the Volusia County Business Incubator agreement with UCF for site management. Just kind of flew by under the radar, but I think that's very significant. Again, Phil was one of the architects of getting that started here. We're at the 3-year point. I think what we're going to see out of that in the next that incubator out of the next 3 years is going to be very significant. The percentage of technology businesses as compared to what it was just a year ago is up at least twofold. And Emory has a brochure that he'll hand out later that just kind of expands on how Dr. Tom O'Neill at UCF is going about developing this whole entrepreneurial mindset within UCF's organization, and certainly with us as a part of that. Just a couple other quick items. The VMA Expo was a success. It was held at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. We already talked about yesterday's job fair. New labor statistics are due out this Friday. The VMA Speaker Series will be, the next issue of that will be Thursday, October 23rd. A name you don't hear a lot, Jim Lockamacher. He's the Senior Vice President out there for Spartan Electronics. I'm going to guess that if I asked y'all to put a pin on the map as to where Spartan Electronics is, except for Phil, we might be challenged to do that. I know, until I drove out there. It's out in De Leon Springs. Yeah. A phenomenal business that we have in our community that, again, just kind of flies under the radar. And every now and again, you'll see an article in the News Journal that says, congratulations, they just won another $165 million DoD contract to build sonobuoys for the United States Navy. So,
they've been building electronics since the early 1900s. And in their display case, so they've got one of those old radios kind of look like a cathedral, desktop radios. So I went to the Spartan booth and was talking to this older fellow who works there, and of course the same family it's a public company, but the same family controlled it for over 100 years. Smith family. It's a very interesting company. It would almost be. It kind of flies in the face of the way things were done back 100 years ago, the way things are organized and done. But I mean they compete very easily with other companies for very large contracts like you're talking about.
Well, they hired a new CEO about, 5 years ago, Phil? 4 or 5 years ago, and he's just done phenomenal things with the corporation as well as this division of that corporation. So as a former naval officer and a ship driver, knowing that sonobuoy technology exists to find those non-friendly submarines lurking about under the surface, it's great technology.
Spring Garden, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. The Volusia Building Industry Association is having a luncheon on Friday, October 31st. They have a guest speaker who is an economist with the National Home Building Association. So if you want to get a glimpse of what's taking place nationally and looking ahead from a forecast perspective on home building, we understand he's going to bring that perspective. And finally, our next Q, or quarterly meeting, is Friday, November 7th, and we're so fortunate to have Joey Chitwood agree to be our guest speaker. I think you're all aware that there's a topping off ceremony at the Speedway today to mark the halfway point, so we're just so excited that he's going to come and share the status of that and where they're going with that vision. And I saw an article today that even started to speak to breaking ground on the One Daytona project. So that concludes my comments, and I apologize, but I'm going to have to rush out of here for a 9 o'clock conference call.
Any questions? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. It's nice to be busy in that regard. Keith Norden, please.
Thank you. Keith Norden with Team Volusia.
The World Traveler.
The World Traveler, that's right. And unfortunately, last meeting, I was in Japan with the Southeast U.S., 7 southeastern states, as we hosted Japanese corporate decision makers there. And Denise was at the Industrial Asset Management Council in Canada. So we were both on the road. So I apologize in not giving my report then. If I had given the report, I would have told you that we had recently announced, and we did that very, very close to that meeting time, Project Baker. They had been a stage 4 project. That's the stage where the projects are in negotiation. It's Blue Coast Bakers. You've read about it, but they purchased the empty U.S. Foods building that had been empty for almost 2 years in unincorporated Volusia County. The exciting thing about it is it came about from a direct mail campaign that we had sent out to national brokers about our building inventory. So when the owner of the company went to the CBRE office in California to look at a California food manufacturing building, the broker actually said, well, what about this? This is on the East Coast. So we're excited about that. Another exciting thing is the project was fully funded. So they didn't ask for any other incentives other than training funds from CareerSource, Flagler, Volusia. A turning point was your own Daytona State College, because he toured the Maury Hosseini School of Hospitality, and that really made him aware that he could train his employees. 300 projected employees with 25 earning over $60,000. So we're excited about it. He's moved in, and they are hiring staff right now. So
Yeah, they're still moving equipment in. I was in there about a week or so ago.
They are,
Yeah.
yes. And they're still
the
doing some
equipment's
electrical.
unbelievable. I mean, there's an oven in there that's 150 foot long. Two of them. And he's supposed to bake. I'm going to get it wrong probably, 250,000 muffins a day.
And leave it to me, I've been called the Muffin Man because of this location, which is not really appropriate, but anyway. But we're excited about having that, and the industry sector is good because food processing is a strong industry sector, so we're excited about that location. Our pipeline continues to be strong, and I'm pleased to see that we're getting a lot of direct referrals, direct contacts, and consultant referrals. For instance, there's a project visiting today, second time, looking at 2 sites in Volusia County, one in Daytona Beach, one in Edgewater. But that is a consultant that actually I've worked with for many years. Denise has been very active in convincing him to visit Volusia County as I have. And he brought a project to us and actually told Enterprise Florida and suggested Enterprise Florida this project should look at Volusia County. And that's what we want when we do these consulting calls. We want to be top of mind so that when they do contact the state agency, that they identify Volusia County as a place they want to consider. So we're excited about that, and it's a large distribution project. We have 19 projects in the pipeline with a total of 1,925 jobs potential. That list changes daily, so next month when I come and present, there'll be different numbers. But we don't let things lay stagnant. We actually, if we don't hear from a project and they won't respond, we immediately put them in an inactive state, so we don't leave a lot of inventory on there. And then if they do respond or if they answer my phone call, then we put them back on the list. We're also working with an aerospace aviation company that visited once, and we're being aggressive about that as they consider Florida locations. We actually sent a letter from Dr. Johnson from Embry-Riddle Friday, actually Thursday night, to their European headquarters, reminding them of the importance of considering a location at the Research and Development Park or adjoining Daytona Beach International Airport. And then the article was so nice in the Daytona Beach paper about the air show. I followed it up Saturday night with the article about the air show and Dr. Johnson's quotes about the Research and Development Park. So we'll see what happens. We offered to actually go over there and present Daytona Beach and Volusia County to them at the headquarters. I didn't have Embry-Riddle's okay for that, but they okayed it on Sunday. So,
Okay.
yeah, it could have been, that may have been a problem, but I would have been going over. But it is an exciting time for Volusia County, and our activity it's ticked up, as you can see.
Well, generally, across the country, the expansion is picking up quite a bit as companies get more cash and volumes increase. You see
Yeah,
that generally?
and it is. And, you know, the downturn time 2 years ago was so great that a lot of companies waited to see, there was pent-up demand. So we are seeing a lot of activity on that part across the country. And definitely Florida is. Florida is highly considered amongst consultants and companies.
Well, good job on Blue Coast, because you never know, that's the reason why you advertise.
That's
never
right.
know-
You never know.
what's going to come out, but it's to get a company that size and take that building and use it, and then not take any real incentive money is fairly unusual.
It is. Thank you.
All right. Nancy Kiefer for the Chamber. And thank you.
Good morning. How are y'all? A lot going on this week. Obviously, tomorrow the Convention and Visitors Bureau kicks off Biketoberfest with their press conference at the Chamber. We are certainly taking advantage of all the bikers that are going to be in town, encouraging them to come back for Bike Week. So there's a lot of cooperation and marketing for both events going on. It looks early on that it's going to be a busy weekend, a lot of interest in the area, and I know the Convention and Visitors Bureau has worked really hard to branch out into some new market areas, so hopefully we'll see the benefit of that. On Friday morning, we'll be hosting our Eggs and Issues program on the homeless issue. We will be having 3 speakers talk about Dr. Marbott's report that he presented here to the city of Daytona Beach, I think, a couple of weeks ago. It should be an interesting dialogue. We have Judge Bell Schuman, Troy Ray, and Lisa Hamilton, who are going to give a response to what they've seen in the report, and also from the business community's perspective, try to engage some conversation as to what's going to, be held in the future for that particular report. Next week, we'll be taking 20 people to Greenville, South Carolina on our inner city visit. We got great representation, both government officials, elected officials, private sector business, some of our partners in economic development. Well, Keith isn't going, so we got the better end of that deal with Denise going. But
Aware of that. And I had to step out for another activity.
Just kidding. It's going to be a great trip. We've got a super packed agenda, and it's very, very interesting, the similarities between Greenville and Daytona Beach. And it's going to be interesting to see how they took a city with similar characteristics and developed it into one of the, award-winning communities for their downtown area as it comes to entertainment and restaurants and attracting youth leadership to their area. I think that in November, the week after that, we'll be having our first awards program. It's an annual luncheon. And we did this by design to really showcase small business in our community. And very proud to say we're recognizing a Daytona Beach Street gift shop. Yours truly will be getting the Small Business of the Year award. So it'll be great to come out and celebrate Stephanie's success right here in our neighborhood. We'll also be presenting for the first time a Young Professional of the Year award. And then the Marvin Samuels Award will actually be presented at that, and that's an award for our Leadership Council. So it's a brand new program, really meant to bring small business to get together, give another option for those that might not be able to attend our annual dinner for a number of reasons. We're already over 200 in attendance for that, so I'm very pleased with the popularity of that. Rob mentioned the topping off ceremony today for Daytona Rising. I think that's a great milestone for this community, and very glad to see that not only will they be marking their halfway point in their development, but also the talk that things are going to start moving across the street for One Daytona. That's it for me.
A lot of activity in Daytona Beach right now. It's really good. Any questions? All right. Well, thank you. We need to change this to Volunteers in Medicine instead of Volusia Foundation, Vision Foundation. But I'll turn that announcement over to Ms. Killian. Give us an update on the. Are we still having trouble with the blind services?
Yeah. Just so everybody understands, the Daytona Beach Vision Foundation has morphed into the Volusia Volunteers in Medicine, VVIM. Association. We keep running into a few minor roadblocks. We should get more information by the end of next week. What's really strange is Stuart Marchman has been on that property there behind the Halifax Hospital for a number of years, and the building that they are offering to give us to upgrade and have us move in there, we technically have to sublease from them. Well, Stuart Marchman found out that they lease from somebody else, and so it's caused kind of a ripple a ripple effect, and we're still trying to figure out who exactly is responsible for the property. It is part of a Texas education thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
Florida
Texas,
State.
I mean,
State.
Florida State. I said Texas, that's because I just came from Texas. But, yeah, so anyway.
I didn't know Texas took us over.
Texas is too much in the news lately here. So anyway, that's where we stand right now, and we have we're poised and ready to go. It's just trying to figure out exactly the legal aspects of getting into that property. We do have a couple of other locations that are kind of creeping in there in case this does fall through, but it's a struggle, and it's kind of depressing because it's taken so long, because we have the medical community behind us, we have a number of people in place, we have already received donations, so anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you think you've gone through overcome a problem, and then all of a sudden something bites you in the rear, and in this case, the owner succession of that's always been Florida State land. It was a land granted out years and years ago. The Department of Education and Blind Services had part of it, and all these different organizations. But if you truly go back, it's back to the state of Florida. So we may have to get someone like Dwayne Taylor or someone like that involved in it.
Well, Chet, who's the head of
Chet Bell.
Yeah, Chet Bell is really, really upset about all this, because he really wants this to start before he leaves in next month. So anyway.
Okay. Any questions? The Fentress Business Park, I'm going to be meeting with Mr. Perriman. Probably, it looks like I'm trying to firm it up like next Thursday. He used to own a Lima Shield back in the day. Still has a lot of property in that area. See if we can get something going on that signage in there. I understand from talking to some of the real estate developers in the area that 7-Eleven men's warehouse place is going to change the frontage, and but that's to be a couple of years away. So we want to try to get that signage taken care of. This doesn't look good. It's not timely, and it's just needs to be updated. So he and I are going to try to strategize on that a little bit next week. New city manager. Gary Shimon, are you here? Oh, there he is back there.
Deputy city manager.
Deputy city manager.
Jim's in
Sorry.
California, he might get a little nervous.
Yeah, I think we had a coup here since Mr. Chisholm has 2 weeks vacation. So, hi.
Oh, so you're on the hot seat already, running the city while he's on vacation?
Well, Ron is actually doing most of it, but yes, he and I are sharing it for the moment.
Okay.
But my name is Gary Shimon. I'm coming here from Broward County. I work for Pembroke Pines, ran the town of Davie, and was the chief administrative officer for Plantation. And for those of you who might be interested, my master's thesis was on economic development, so this is kind of very near and dear to my heart. So I'm looking forward to working with you.
All right. But how long have you been in?
Well, welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard. How long have you been in city, county government?
I think I'm coming up on 27 or 28 years, something like that.
Well,
I feel it.
you're filling some big shoes, so good luck.
Every time I come up here, that's exactly the expression I hear. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. But yes, he has many years of experience. I don't anticipate filling his shoes, but I do anticipate walking his path.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Well, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. And if there's anything we can do, don't fail to call us. Roll call.
Good morning. Larry McDermott,
Here.
Carol Killian,
Here.
Ruth Traeger,
Here.
Tim Davis, Bishop Derek Triplett, Thomas Blond, Bill Ellinger. We have a quorum.
Economic trends, either the exit issues may not be the format. What's the new one called? The business before hours?
Yeah, that's more of a networking event.
Is that more networking?
Yeah, there's no speakers at that. I mean, in order to have a program, our eggs and issue
Okay.
format, if that's the one you want to use, would be the appropriate one for, panel discussion and information dissemination.
Did you have anything on the agenda for January yet?
I actually saved January for you.
Okay.
So
Good.
I'll get you that date. I had done that quite a while ago just to make sure if you wanted that particular date that was going to be available to you. I think it's the third Friday.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, and then Emery.
17th.
The location yet. We've been battering about maybe not using a location like LPGA and trying to use one of the city properties, perhaps to just, awareness of what the city has in its inventory as far as properties. And I had mentioned the Yvonne Scarlett Golden Center, which you said that wouldn't really fit, wouldn't work.
But we are going to visit the Midtown Cultural Center after this meeting and
After this
take a
meeting.
look at it.
Okay, so we're as soon as we get the place ferreted out, I'll let you know. Okay. And again, the theme is going to be just like the economic development report for Daytona Beach. I haven't really figured out if we want a new theme as far as last time we did hotel motel, and we'll have to figure out what we want where we want to go. I would love to do something with the universities. Because right now, what's happening over at Embry-Riddle, what's happening in the Daytona State, it's very exciting. That maybe we can do something with that.
I am sure Dr. Heist, who's the chief academic officer, is one of the things he does. I was going to suggest it perhaps for one of our meetings, but that would be even better. He makes an excellent presentation on not only the programs, but also the financing and the dollars that they put into our community, which is a couple $100 million a year is an economic impact.
And Thune Cookman, their expansion and continuing to grow. Do we know anyone over? Are we familiar with? I'm glitching on who's running. Is it Dr. Jackson?
Yes, Edison
Okay.
Ojek.
Does he have someone that handles this type of thing in his administration?
We have a very good relationship with Dr. Jackson, so we can talk about, what role, we all play in making sure we get the right speakers. I think the university's impact on economic development is a fantastic idea. We've been thinking about putting that type of a program together, so if it fits here, I think that would make a lot of sense. Dr. Jackson serves on our board.
Well, all three in Daytona Beach. So now, did we want to pull in Stetson or just the three universities in Daytona?
It's up to the board.
You also have the vocational type schools too. So I mean, that's all bring students and they're all bringing dollars.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about like I can't think of the one on Bill France?
Yeah,
Okay, I haven't thought about them at all.
Kaiser.
Okay.
You got Kaiser and there's a couple of others.
Okay. Well,
What's with the whatchamacallit by
The
is that in
ATC?
Daytona Beach?
What?
The motorcycle school?
No.
Oh, no, that's in Ormond.
Okay, I forgot where the line
That might
goes.
open up too many doors, though. We've got, you go on and on and on. I
No.
think we ought to just.
Stay with the big one.
Stay with the
Yeah, stay
three
with
main
the-
ones.
Especially with Dr. Jackson.
Yeah, because we got a limited time program. I
Right.
mean, last time we were pushing the envelope for lateness, we were like 5 minutes after 9.
Plus, we want to have the News Journal marketing report. That's the reason we've moved it
Correct.
into January in the first place. So we want to make sure we have enough time.
And Dr. Eaton is really happy to present as well. So you've got,
Yeah.
all the
I
presidents of the
think, yeah,
university.
let's do quality rather than quantity.
All right, the three Embry-Riddle, Bethune, and Daytona
Daytona
State.
State.
Okay. And then the News Journal report.
And as far as the place, Nancy, I would think you would have, some suggestions as well. I know we want to stay maybe within a city thing. but-
Yeah, we can definitely look at some, that's one thing I did say to Larry, is that's one thing we can change up. It doesn't have to be. We do enough programs out at LPJ, so we can look at some properties within the city, and, we've got a lot of members that, would be able to host something like this, so.
Okay.
All right, very good. Any old business?
No.
New business?
New business, I was just going to announce that Tim Davis has resigned. He has moved out of Daytona Beach, And so we are looking for a real estate representative.
What, would we particularly need a real estate if we got Tom Blond?
Tom Blond is filling an education slot. He was an economics professor at
So, well,
Daytona
maybe we
State some
change
years
that.
ago.
Maybe we just change that up and push him into education and then find a.
Or him in the
I
real
mean,
estate? Yeah, switch it
yeah,
out.
Switch it out. Try to find an education type person. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be. What am I?
Gotta look.
What hat do we, I don't know
What hat do we wear?
What hat do we wear?
Plus, it's also a city commission appointment as well, so.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, you and I talked a little bit more about that offline. Okay. Any other public comment? Any other comments for the good of cause? We're adjourned.
Thank you.